right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here in Chandler. We're going to get the exact location, but we are here in Chandler, Arizona, where we understand crime scene that is in front of you. Several neighbors have reported, and we will be meeting up with the PIO shortly. But as we understand it, there was a gentleman in his 60s and his wife in the car who apparently went to check their mailbox to check mail. There was a gentleman just in front of those trees behind that one truck that actually lives here as well, who was yelling at kids. This is from neighbor witnesses, said that he was yelling at kids, and then out of nowhere, while the gentleman was checking his mail, some type of verbal possible argument happened. And then moments after that, we understand the gentleman that lives down the street several times shot at the gentleman in his 60s that was checking his mail. As we understand it, his wife was also in the car. She was not hit. The gentleman that was hit, as we understand it, died of his injuries here on the scene. And the suspect who shot at him, as we understand it, has been arrested. So this is where we are. We're going to get you exact location here in Chandler. We are off of Riggs Road. It is a little windy out here, so I do apologize if you guys are hearing wind in the distance, but bear with me just a moment and we'll get you. We're on, the incident happened at South Danielson Way and Hazelton Way. Once again, here in Chandler, Arizona, South Danielson Way and East Hazelton Way. Hazelton Way. Once again, we do have a police perimeter, crime scene tape around it, and as we understand it, a resident was shot and unfortunately passed away. His wife, who was also in the vehicle, was not hit. And this is as we know it now. Stand by for more information. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm not sure if you heard, but the north side is where they're doing the PIO.
The PIO? All right, are they doing that now or?
Yeah, they're talking right now.
All right, I'll head over there in a minute. Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So once again, thank you for joining us. We're Valley-wide news, breaking news and events here across the valley. We're in Chandler, Arizona right now, where unfortunately it seems as though, as we understand it, there's a PIO speaking right now, but we're going to stay on this shot right here. This is the active crime scene. We do understand it that the suspect has been arrested. He did live in this neighborhood. And as we understand it from several neighbors said it, that they heard the shots earlier. The couple in their 60s were going to check their mail. And while doing so, the gentleman stepped out of the driver's seat, His wife's still in the passenger seat checking the mail. When he did so, some kind of argument with another neighbor from down the street, on the other end of the street we're looking at, started yelling at kids in the area, screaming at them, and so on. Whatever led up to it, they had words, and within seconds, according to neighbors that happened to be walking around or heard exactly what happened, the one gentleman that lives at the end of this street, straight ahead from where you're seeing, opened fire with his gun on the couple, on the gentleman rather, that is in his 60s checking his mail. Several rounds were fired, and unfortunately that person has passed away. And as we understand, his wife was not injured, from what, as we understand it. Once again, several neighbors as well, and we're just going by what several neighbors have told us because we didn't make it over to where the PIO was at this time. But several neighbors also reported saying that the gentleman who shot was attempting to clean up what he had just done by picking up shell casing. It appeared he's picking up shell casings that were in the street that he had just expunged, from his gun when he shot that neighbor. So as we understand it, unfortunately and sadly, one of the gentlemen that was shot has passed away. His wife was not hit. Just so everybody knows, also we're Valley-wide News, breaking news and events here across Arizona and the Southeast Valley. We're on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitter. And you can also download our app in the App Store, on Apple at Valley-wide News, and on Android at Valley-wide News. So if you know anybody in this area that might live down this street, unfortunately it looks like they're turning those people that live in this area. If you're just coming home, you will not be able to go down this street. They have a crime scene tape across multiple blocks. Once again, just to give everybody an idea of where we're at, we're just off of Riggs Road here in Chandler, Arizona. South Danielson Way and East Hazelton Way is where the crime scene currently is.
No offense, but I'm behind the crime scene. Can I stay here? I'm
So
independent.
our PIO asked you to go over there.
Okay.
So
I'm independent, so I don't know. I already know what's going on. I just want to stay with the full team.
I'll talk to PIO, and if she says no, you're going to move over there. Yep. Hey, they want you on the side. Yeah, I mean, I can. It's all worked off. That's all we need to talk about. I was hoping they had it outside, but we went back to the inside. Or we could just go straight back and walk.
All right, everybody, just so you know, that gentleman is taking a step above his authority to try and have me move, even though I'm behind the police tape, to send you where public information an officer is, which I'm not interested in. But if so, we'll go ahead and cut the live here. We've got enough because the PIO has already spoken, so we already know the details behind the police tape, so hopefully they won't bother us and we'll stay right here. Because we have no intention of moving. We'll keep you updated.
That's special maneuvering to try to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
No, I understand, and that's why if you take a look,
Where
I
is it?
would zoom in here, do that, and I've been on multiple scenes before, like in the other one where I think where that suspect is at large, or
Right.
something to that effect. So
yeah, normally we'd be able to maybe put up screens and things like that to protect privacy, but the wind is causing a problem. So instead, we're asking that the media be respectful of where they're filming from.
that I 100% agree, and I would never. Sorry. I understand. I mean, I got to. on Zoom, but I'm not.
Do you know how long it would be so I know when I can bring it up? By
That would be
chance?
the last thing I want to
just
find
don't
out.
wanna
I've
be
seen that
down
before
there.
with that shooting on apartment complex, and the guys were still there, so I zoomed way back, and I didn't go anywhere near it for that purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's other people who are a little bit snarty about it. I won't do that.
Well, we try to give as much information as we can as soon as we can and be very accessible to the public. But
And you just spoke, right? Are you the PIO?
I am the PIO.
Oh, I didn't know if they said they were already.
I'm not doing sound for anybody right now.
Oh, I understand, because it's still on the.
Yeah, it's just barely starting. Yeah, very early on.
All right.
So
If it's okay with you guys, that would be my promise to you guys. I'm not going to zoom in because obviously I could see that it's just beyond that band.
okay,
And that I won't do that.
okay,
That way.
all right.
Is that okay?
I'd rather
I mean,
not
I know
be
you'd
here.
rather, yeah.
That's what I'm asking is for you guys to be on the other side, but
And where is that at?
just around the corner.
Okay.
It's not much different view than this.
So it's just facing the opposite way
Yeah.
rather than directly on.
Correct.
I appreciate it. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Excuse me, real quick. Is it right beyond those trucks? Sorry, that one.
truck is right there? Just
north. On that one.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our vehicle. We're going to keep this live shot going. We're going to go around the corner where they've asked media to stage, and the PIO actually gave a better explanation than the cop who was trying to infringe upon my First Amendment right, which wouldn't happen. But she explained it a little better, that the crime scene is just beyond that white van that you're seeing in front of us, and that they didn't want other people finding out until, family members of the suspect who was unfortunately killed to find out via our live shot rather than from the police department. So that explanation makes a little more sense. We're staying zoomed out for that purpose. And so we're not going to zoom in any closer for respect of the person who unfortunately passed away. All right, everybody, so we're going to stay right where we are here. We did consider moving over to the staging area where the media is, but we've decided to zoom way out of respect for, as she mentioned it, and stay zoomed out because the crime scene is just beyond that white van and where the gentleman was shot and killed Saturday. And unfortunately, she was saying that the reason we should stay, or they wanted us to move to the staging area, is because the crime scene is directly in front of us, and they didn't want family members of the person shot to find out via our live shot or the media. And with that said, I appreciate that, and I agreed to zoom out for that reason. Unfortunately, the first police officer, which I love them all, but unfortunately, the first police officer basically said, if that's what she asked you to do, you'll move. Which, A, we're behind the police tape, and B, we're not going to zoom in out of that respect. And so, therefore, with that said, we'll stay right where we are. And when we do appreciate Chandler PD, we're not going to get anywhere near the crime scene. We'll stay zoomed out as promised. Once again, we're live on a crime scene here, where, as we understand it, two neighbors unfortunately had some kind of verbal argument. The one neighbor then was screaming at some kids while the gentleman was checking his mail, and then pulled out a gun and shot that neighbor that was checking his mail, and then attempted to head towards the vehicle to shoot at the wife in the car, as neighbors told us that live in the area that saw or heard what happened. So once again, it's not confirmed that, and PIO is currently not sending out any information, as she told us just before, because they're not ready at this time to give much more information than what we've heard from neighbors. And unfortunately, one of the neighbors, a gentleman in his 60s, was shot and unfortunately passed away as a result. The other neighbor that did the shooting, that suspect, has been arrested. We do understand that the wife was not shot and is not hurt, but it's an unfortunate, sad situation that not only did the wife have to witness that, but as we understand it, there were kids outside playing that this gentleman that shot was screaming at. And unfortunately, it seems so most likely those kids had to witness the unfortunate event. So once again, just to let everybody know where we're at, we're in Chandler, Arizona, right off of Riggs Road, and specifically off of East Hazleton Way, 2200 block of East Hazleton Way. We appreciate everybody joining us. Like we said, we are going to be respectful, as family members of the person unfortunately shot have not been notified, and that was the reason the PIO wanted us to move to a different location. Because of the wind, they can't set up tents and screens to block the crime scene. So we are going to intentionally stay zoomed out of that respect. And once again, we are Valleywide News, breaking news and events here across the valley. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as in the App Store, Valleywide News, and in Android, we have an app as well, Valleywide News. If you know anybody in this area, you might want to share it out. They're not letting any people drive in or out of the neighborhood on any of these several blocks that are taped off. So once again, unfortunately, a person was shot, as neighbors say, for apparently no reason, check his mail.
It's not a house. If you go around the other side, you might be able to get in, and if not, the officers on that side can probably give you an idea of kind of or if you can go over to your house. Don't know. Sorry about that, but I would definitely approach it from the other side, closer to your house. Okay. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining us. We are Valleywide News, breaking news and events here and across the valley. We're live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we are currently on the scene of what started out, as we understand it, from neighbors who witnessed what happened. There was a gentleman and his wife, gentleman in his 60s, that's all we know, and his wife. He went to check the mail on their way home from wherever they might have been. Checked the mail. When he got out to check his mail, one of the neighbors that lived just beyond that vent was being verbal, yelling at children that were playing in the area. And then, out of nowhere, as we understand it, he shot the gentleman in his 60s and then attempted to shoot towards the vehicle, firing several rounds, attempting to shoot at the gentleman's wife in the vehicle as well. As we understand it, the gentleman that was checking his mail unfortunately passed away from his gunshot wounds. That's all we know at the moment. And PIO, who is directly in front of our camera, has asked us to, if we're going to stay in this area because it's just beyond that white van, to not zoom in out of respect for the family members of the gentleman who was shot, so that they don't hear or see this and find out before being notified during a live shot. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's going to be like that. I mean, I don't know if they'll let you into the neighborhood, but I know that just behind where that right there is half by the mailbox. I guess. That's only what I'm getting. Check this mail. Guys, so the truck starts making. So one that's down by the court side starts making. That guy. All of a sudden, starts shooting. Yeah, one of the other neighbors said the same thing. Yeah, there was another shooting or something.
And now happened like this. I'm not surprised, but yeah, I'm too surprised, you know. But I hear that last.
A little too close.
Yeah, too
Comfort,
close.
right?
door and they say inside the house.
Yeah. Oh, last night too.
The last time this morning, something like that. This morning.
Unfortunately, it sounds like.
I called my husband. You should not go home yet. You stay somewhere.
Unfortunately, it sounds like kids were out playing. So they have problems. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, that. I mean, you could, yeah, I think you can actually go here outside of time picture if you live right over here, probably. But I don't know if you have.
Right there. You can get off. You can back and
You might have to ask one of these officers. I don't know if they. This is the person was arrested in that shot, so there's no like. Yeah.
Not dangerous for me, though.
Yeah, I think they just. Supposedly this guy shot a bunch of times, and that's what neighbors said. They just trying to clean them all up and not just do it. Which does make sense. Yeah, so I don't know if you live somewhere by where that is.
Yeah, right there. You right there. You know that.
Yeah.
Yes, right there. The big tree right there. Everything right there. Because my house is there, but he did that. That's right.
Yeah, well, they said maybe no, but you might have to ask one of the cops. But they're on that side. Yeah, you go around the block. That's well, there's other TV stations and all that up there too. So, unfortunately, not the neighborhood to do that.
No.
Not just I mean, I let them down.
I check people every day right there.
Somebody had a
You
guy.
too? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's true.
Somebody had a guy there. Took it out on poor guy. Yeah. Or you could ask the police officers if you live back there, if you want to go home. I don't know.
We'll get you someone here in a minute. Hold on. Here, let me grab someone. Okay. Come here. Justin Aguilar.
In there. I live in there.
Yeah, it'll probably be a couple hours. Yes. I just don't want to be the one. I mean, it's just what neighbors have said. That's all. That is, apparently, one of the neighbors got shot. Yeah. That's all. He got out of his car, checked the mail. So, that lives down there. Tried to shoot his wife, too. That's what it was. Let's pick those up. That's sad. Oh, yeah, it's loud. Probably.
What's your address?
2380 East Hazleton.
Yeah, that was the one we cleared. Okay.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna let you come in.
Grab the jacket real quick.
Yeah, grab a jacket and then. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm independent out of our news, and I'm on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, but what it was all the news was here, and because right behind that van is where I guess the body is not zooming in on the floor, you can't see anything in there. So I guess we got, but one cop came over and said that all the people go over by the PIO, which is right down that block. Yeah, and then he came over to me and one cop and said, I respect the cops, but not really trying to bring I'm not just one behind the police. Right. And that would be right through those basically PIO section. Actually, I'm not. Right. Because I'm not. If you want to go back, you can, and then maybe I'll back up, whatever you want. But I think that would be about 10 guys driving and she just said because of the family members have to it's nice way to say it. Rather than just having to back up, she just said if you just do this favor. So family members don't find out live on Facebook or whatever, right? Just do them while we have. That's exactly what I did. Hired a bunch of guys. They said that one of them said he was just picking up shelter. And he tried to go up on the vehicle and shoot her too. Thank God, I guess he did. I think this is the worst part is probably the kids had it. They were playing on the street. Who's yelling at that? They were riding their bikes. That is small, right? Rode on the grass. Running. So they got that part sucks. So the lady I talked to right in my right from his right behind that. In his 60s, retired, and his wife. And just had to get the probably don't know something. A silver truck. Yeah. Guy who lives down somewhere down.
So the two trucks that's sitting there, I don't know the guy was sitting in the dog ran.
Doc ran. All I know is the silver truck. The guy. And he looked up the folks and possibly. That's why I don't want to say that because I don't want to rush to it. But one and the ran might have been yeah.
That's okay. So that's why that door is sitting over there.
He was checking down and headed back. Set him up. Base man. Yeah, it is. Now you got to watch back. Check your mail.
In our mailbox on the other side. Where that guy lived at, the guy shot.
Suppose it where the guy that got shot with? No, that lady that I was talking to earlier, when I first got here, said something back there. She pointed to that. So I don't know if that is real. But the guy that did the shooting was off the police. Something. Yeah. No, yeah, the PIO lady said that they're all over there now. They're not ready. She didn't say anything. She said they're not ready. Right. Yeah, I'm sure it's mostly because they're trying to, tell all the family members and all that before all the details. Yeah. Well, thank you.
All right, everybody. So once again, we are here in Chandler, Arizona, where unfortunately one gentleman has been shot and killed, as we understand it from neighbors. And again, please do not take this as anything but what we've heard from 2 or 3 neighbors that actually heard all the gunshots, came outside. and saw what was going on down the street. But as we understand it, a neighbor was checking his mail, pulled up to the mailbox with his wife in a vehicle checking the mail, got out to check his mail. A gentleman that lives down that block apparently was screaming and yelling at kids, and something happened in that time frame, and the one gentleman shot several times into the vehicle and shot the gentleman.
How you doing?
Yeah, okay with you already?
Yeah. I spoke with her. She basically just said to stay zoomed out because I guess the crime scene's right there, so I'm doing my best to do that. I'll stay, I don't want to. Obviously, I mean, she mentioned it a little nicer than one gentleman. Not so much at first. She asked if you move, you're just going to go. I'm like, not. But she was nicer and said, just zoom out. Because I guess family members.
You're a professional.
Yeah. So I just zoomed out. I'm not going to mess with you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Be safe. Thank you.
All right, everybody. So this crime scene will likely be active for quite some time. Several hours, as we understand it. The command vehicle for Chandler Police Department is here on scene, and as the PIO requested, we are staying zoomed out of respect for the next of kin of the family member of the gentleman that was shot, and so we are going to stay zoomed out at this time. Once again, and just to bring you up to speed, just before we end this live shot, we are live here in Chandler, where a gentleman was checking his mail. Another neighbor came out, was yelling at several children in the area that were playing. And as we understand, and this is coming from eyewitnesses, neighbors that were on the scene, started yelling at the kids, some kind of verbal with the gentleman that was checking his mail. His wife was in the car. This irate neighbor then opened fire on the gentleman in his 60s that was checking his mail, shot him several times, attempted to also shoot into the vehicle where the wife was. Thankfully, she was not struck by any gunfire. But as we understand it, neighbors did tell us, and unfortunately, like we're just reporting what they are saying and saw as eyewitnesses who wanted to remain anonymous, but basically said that the wife was covered, unfortunately, in blood, and so unfortunately she had to witness this irate gentleman who shot and killed her husband, and what it sounds like most likely that the kids playing outside were also unfortunately witness to this. Once again, a sad day here. And again, as neighbors were telling us just last night or early this morning, several gunshots in this area were fired as well. They heard gunshots, woke up to gunshots. Don't know if those are related to this gentleman who shot today, but we will try and find that out. And once again, unfortunately, sadly, one gentleman has been shot and did pass away from his injuries right in front of his wife, unfortunately. So our thoughts and prayers do go out to that family who suffered this loss. And once again, we are live here. We're going to go ahead and end our live shot. Those of you that might live in the area here, there is police tape. It looks like, because there was one gentleman who lived just beyond that van that you're seeing in the distance, they did escort him to his house. So if you do live in the area and you are headed home, it looks like the police officers will escort you to your house if needed. Once again, we're Valley-wide News, breaking news and events here and across the valley. Live where news happens. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're also live right now in the App Store, Valley-wide News, as well as on Android. So we appreciate everybody joining us. We're going to end our live shot here.